What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, well, still not 100%. However, we here. It's Friday, so let's have a good time talking about women's basketball. Quita in the morning starts now.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready? Ready, set, go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good show for you all. We're going to talk about the game that happened yesterday, just the one game that happened yesterday. And I was like, you know what? Let's actually make some interactivity for the main part of the show. So get ready for that, because y'all are telling me who are we buying and who are we selling in terms of the WNBA playoffs. Now, no real gambling, but I thought it'd be a fun exercise. Anyway, let's get into the games, the game that happened yesterday, and that was between the two teams. A wrong graphic on that one. There we go. All right, and that is between the two teams that are battling out for that number 8 spot in the WNBA playoffs. The Golden State Valkyries versus the Washington Mystics. And this was a game that originally, when we came into this game, we thought that the Washington Mystics, we didn't think, we saw that the Washington Mystics were in that number 8th spot. However, the Golden State Valkyries came into this game with a good pace, right? They was killing at one point versus the Washington Mystics, but all of a sudden, guys, we saw. So first of all, Golden State, massive first quarter, 30-20, really good start. They continued that on in the second quarter. In the third quarter, we started to see the Washington Mystics come back. They started to make their comeback in the third quarter. The fourth quarter, basically, both teams kind of forgot how to play. But even with that being said, Washington kept pushing, trying to get back in this game, trying to get the win. And then it went all down to the last second of the game as the Washington Mystics had the basketball. They had a really good look for Brittany Sykes. The play they ran was actually a great play. It had Brittany Sykes with the basketball with basically 2 seconds left to go. She gets into the lane, gets in my opinion, the exact shot she wanted, but just hits off the rim. She misses. Ultimately, the Golden State Valkyries end up getting the job done, 68-67. Now, was this a pretty game to watch? No, this was not. This was not a pretty game to watch at all. However, sometimes it be like that. Sometimes there are ugly games where both teams are just kind of struggling a little bit, right? Sometimes that happens. How can you win if the game is ugly, right? If it's a grind for the game, how do you still find ways to win? And that's exactly what the Golden State Valkyries did. They had it, they kind of lost it, but they got it back late in the game. And yeah, it was not a pretty game. It just wasn't. However, somebody still has to win. And shout out to the Golden State Valkyries. Sai says, it was indeed an ugly game, but as defensive game fans, I like it. Yeah. Hey, sometimes it's like that. And I don't have a problem with it. Yeah. W. Brazil says it was ugly but exciting, especially towards the end. Where it was like, oh, maybe Washington can get this dub at home. But then no, again, Brittany Sykes got the exact shot she wanted. Like, I was like, this is a fantastic play. You couldn't have drew this play up better. Get the ball to Brittany Sykes and let her get a good look towards the paint. Fantastic look. Just sometimes it goes off the backboard or goes off the rim the wrong way, right? And that's exactly what happened yesterday for the Washington Mystics. Now, let's talk about the winners. The Golden State Valkyries. How in the world did they get the dub? Well, they got it the way they normally get stuff, through teamwork. Nobody on this team scored more than 14 points. Nobody. This is one of the reasons why this Golden State Valkyries team is so good. Because it's not a one-person, a two-person band. It's everybody. It's everybody who is making an impact for this team, both starting and off the bench, right? We saw in terms of starters, we continue to see Veronica Burton step up. Veronica Burton was pretty close, guys, to a triple-double. She was pretty close. 10 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds for Veronica. And I thought she played really, really well yesterday. Big time threes in the game. And she was huge. Absolutely huge. Ilyana Rupert, she was big as well. 11 points, 7 rebounds. Timmy Fagbenle, 10 points, 6 rebounds. But, when it came down to it, who showed up and showed out when it mattered the most? It was Kate Money Martin, guys. Kate Martin. Big time in this game. Right? Big time. Because Kate Martin, 14 points. Not only that, 5 big rebounds for Kate Martin. Y'all, you need everybody to make stuff work to get a dub in the WNBA. However, in the fourth quarter, in the second half, really, even though Golden State at times seemed to forget how to score, they forgot how to make some stuff happen. They didn't forget completely how to play the game of basketball, even though at times it was like, oh, geez, that's not looking very good for you. And Kate Martin was absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. And, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that. Right? So, Jean says Kate is consistent in the trenches. I mean, she does her thing. Henry says Katie stay ready, Martin. Does she go by Katie? But I get what you're saying. Sai says Kate Martin is a gem. I hope the Valks don't trade her, and she needs consistent minutes, in my opinion. I mean, she's playing way more with the Valkyries than she would if she was still on the Las Vegas. Well, actually, this year with all the stuff that's happening with the Aces, maybe she would get some more playing time. I do think she's getting a lot of really good minutes. I don't have any issue with the minutes that she's getting. All right. Okay, but anyway, that was the one game that happened yesterday. Again, not the most beautiful game of women's basketball, but it was a game of defense. It was a game of small burst runs, and ultimately, it was a game that could have had a game winner, but it didn't. I'm sure Brittany Sykes is still pissed about missing that shot. Yes, she had an off game in terms of shooting throughout the game, but even with that being said, you look to get the ball to your best player, And that best player is Brittany Sykes. Yeah. Yeah, she was 3 for 10 before she shot that shot at the last last second, you know. But I would have drawn to the play to do the same thing. Give the ball to Brittany Sykes and have her get towards the paint and have her knock down a shot. That was a fantastic look. Just didn't go. It just didn't go. And that's the result. Sometimes it happens like that. Okay, guys. We got to move on because that's only one game. Normally I have like the first half of the show. I'm talking about the games that happened the day before. We only have one game that happened the day before. So we're going to move past that. And we're going to move to a new segment I am calling Buying or Selling. What are you doing? Let me know. Let me know what you're doing. Are you buying or selling? Now, I know this is a term that's primarily, I think, used around William is asking, how do you unblock someone? I actually have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. Does anyone know how to do that on YouTube? I'm not sure. William, hopefully somebody in the chat can help you because I don't know. All right. So are you buying or selling? I thought this would be a fun segment to do because we just have a couple of weeks left in the WNBA season, and there's a lot of things happening right now. We have the trade deadline that is looming right ahead. We have the playoffs that will be starting in a matter of several weeks. The end is near for the WNBA. And the question is, what are teams doing in the WNBA playoffs? We have 13 teams in the WNBA. We have 8 playoff spots. And there are teams outside looking in. And there's some teams that are inside and maybe looking out by the end of the season. So what I wanted to do is have an interactive time with you all, the awesome people of the internet who are live with me. And also if you all are watching this on replay, no worries. You can absolutely participate in the comment section as well. So we're doing an exercise called buying or selling, which means we are going to go team by team. And we're going to talk about if we had stock in this team, would we buy it for them to make the playoffs? Or are we selling? Basically, buying means that they are going to the playoffs. They're going to make some noise. Selling means they're done for the season. They're not making the playoffs. Their prospects are not good. Okay? That's how we're playing this game, okay? All right. Now, I hope y'all are ready in the chat. What we're going to do is I am going to start polls for all of these teams. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, are you buying or selling? And I am going to talk through my reasonings about these teams, and we're going to go with whatever you all vote, okay? All right. Okay, so I hope y'all are ready for this interactive thing. And also, if y'all like this, we can probably do more interactive stuff on Fridays, because Fridays, we can have a little bit more fun. Sometimes I know I do take things a little bit too serious, and it's just like all real news all the time. And it could be kind of fun to kind of hang out and just have a good time. So yeah, let me know if y'all end up liking this segment. Okay. All right. We're moving to the first team. The first team on this buying and selling list, and that is the Minnesota Lynx. Are you buying or are you selling? So let's talk about the Minnesota Lynx a little bit. This Minnesota Lynx team is 23-5 on the season, 23 wins, 5 losses. The best team in the WNBA right now. This is a team that has lost some games. Absolutely. They've lost some games. However, they are one of the best offenses in the WNBA. Also, one of the best defense in the WNBA. When we talk about opponents' points per game, y'all, if you're going against the Minnesota Lynx, you're not scoring, for the most part, more than 76 points a game. Their defense is flawless, guys. Flawless defense. And yes, they've lost a couple of games. They've lost 3 of their last 10 games. However, when you're talking about the Minnesota Lynx, when you're talking about their redemption arc that they're looking to do this year, it's an easy thing to say. You're, of course, buying the Minnesota Lynx. They are a very good team. They're making the playoffs, no problem. And I'm even buying stock in the fact that they're going to make it very, very far in the playoffs and likely make it to another WNBA championship. This Minnesota Lynx team is easy. This is an easy one. I think some of these top ones are very, very easy. Then we're going to get to the hard ones later on as the segment goes on. But are you buying or are you selling the Minnesota Lynx? And it seems like 98% of y'all are saying you are buying the Lynx. You are indeed correct. That is the right decision to make because, why wouldn't you buy the Minnesota Lynx? They are absolutely amazing. So clear as day. We're ending this poll. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We are buying the Minnesota Lynx. Okay? Marge is asking, who is the 2%? Yeah, who's the 2% who says you're not buying the Minnesota Lynx? I don't get it. I'm confused. What? CAC says might sell the mascot. You don't like Prowl? Prowl is the name of the mascot for the Minnesota Lynx. You don't like Prowl? What's wrong with Prowl? What's wrong with Prowl? I'm just saying. What did Prowl ever do to you? All right, we are moving on. Also, do y'all like this segment? I'm trying to make this more like fun and gamey and all that stuff. Like I'm interested in just livening it up a little bit as much as I can by myself. Okay. So, and also if y'all like, why y'all doing this? Why are you doing this for the easy teams? Well, I got to do it for everybody. So we got to go to the easy and then we're going to go to the hard because some of y'all gonna get mad at me about my opinions about some of the hard ones. Okay. I'm just saying. All right. Okay. Let's move on to the next team. The next team, we are talking about the New York Liberty. So, New York Liberty, are you buying or are you selling? Here's the deal with the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty, yes, they have some injuries, right? Kennedy Burke is out. Brianna Stewart is out. But the cavalry has arrived. Emma Meeseman is in the United States as we speak, and she is getting ready to suit up to join the New York Liberty. Guys, I am putting all chips in for the New York Liberty to not only make the playoffs, which of course they're going to do. I'm putting all my chips in for the New York Liberty to win the WNBA championship. Yes, I'm putting it in because again, yes, we don't know how long that Brianna Stewart is going to be out. We don't know. Right? She has a knee issue. This is the same knee she just had surgery for in, I believe, March. So maybe we won't see Brianna Stewart anytime soon. We might not see her anytime soon. However, you're literally bringing in one of the best players in the world in Emma Meeseman. Guys, what are we talking about? New York Liberty, buying. All chips are in, not just for them to make the playoffs, but also for them to win the WNBA championship. This is a team that in terms of defense is not as good as the Minnesota Lynx, right? Defense is not the best in the WNBA. However, this team has offense for days, guys. Pick your poison. You got Natasha Cloud, who not only is a really good passer in the WNBA, not only can get to her spots on the court, but also is one of the best guard defenders in the WNBA. Right? You also have the likes of Sabrina Ionescu, who is a straight up bucket. Now, is she as consistent against some of the more physical teams? Not so much, but she can score in bunches and get at 30 points pretty easily, right? You got Jonquel Jones, who did spend some time injured, but now she's back. And when Jonquel Jones, y'all know this, when Jonquel Jones gets a double-double, I mean, dog, it's an easy win for the New York Liberty, right? You got Leonie Phoebus, one of the cheat codes in the WNBA when it comes to guards, because defensively, she is so long. One of the tallest guards in the W. She can get to her spots, knock them down. Like, she is fantastic, right? Then you got Stewie, who may or may not be back. We don't know. We'll see. But you got Emma freaking Miesemann, guys. I mean, dog. What we talking about? What we talking about, guys? Come on now. Of course. We're buying the New York Liberty. Okay. So in poll, looks like 89% of y'all are saying buying, 10% are saying selling, 10% saying selling. I think that's kind of wild. But hey, y'all are the ones who are speaking for the awesome people of the internet, okay? All right. We're going to continue on, but real quick, CAC says, I'm buying Ellie. Did you see her almost get ejected? So here's the thing. Ellie is a phenomenon all amongst herself. Like, literally, Ellie walked the runway at WNBA All-Star before the All-Star game as the players were lining up to stand in front of the backdrop and take their photos or whatever. Literally, Ellie was with them. I was just like, how in the world is this random mascot? And they were like, oh, girl, you ate and all this other stuff to mascot. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, it's a mascot. Like, I love the phenomenon that is Ellie. I don't understand it. I really don't. Like, I don't understand why, but I love that it's the case, I guess. I just need some more mascots to try to do. Like, a Sky, which is the Sky's mascot, which is a terrible name because, again, Sky, the mascot for the Sky, like, I should have changed the name. Anyway, that mascot's trying to kind of be like Ellie, but, like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a New York thing that made Ellie. Okay? All right. Donna says, buying as long as JJ is healthy. Well, yes. I think you are absolutely right about that. All right? So, y'all ready to do it? Y'all ready to go to the next one? Y'all ready to go to the next one? And actually, we have a question. Kevin says, Quita, did the Mystics' rights to Miesemann expire? I think the CBA discussion to keep playoff teams from stacking. Well, Kevin, after Emma Miesemann played for the Mystics, she played for the Chicago Sky. So, yeah, she played for the Chicago Sky and she was a free agent after that. And so no one had rights to Emma Miesemann. Emma Miesemann was on the Washington Mystics. She was a free agent, and then she decided as a free agent to go to the Chicago Sky for one season. Then she decided not to play in the WNBA again. But when she decided that, no team had her rights. She was a free agent, so she could do whatever she wanted to do. And she chose to leave the WNBA. Okay? Okay. All right, y'all ready for the next one? Okay, so we got the, hold on. The problem is I'm not able to make these polls in advance, so I have to do them in real time, and so that's a bit annoying. All right, next up, let's talk about the Phoenix Mercury. Are you buying or are you selling the Phoenix Mercury? Let's talk about the Phoenix Mercury real quick. They sit at number 3 in the WNBA. Yes, they have had a bit of a not so great stretch. They have lost 6 games of their last 10. They are inconsistent at times. They are 16-10 on the season, but this is one of the better defensive teams in the WNBA. And they have some really good shooters. One of the issues with this Phoenix Mercury team is that sometimes not everybody shows up, right? This is a team that has not been healthy for most of the season, right? There were times when Alyssa Thomas was out. There were times when Kalia Copper was out. There was times when Satu Sabali was like there rocking it. And also there were some times when she was out as well. Anyway, my point is that this Mercury team has dealt with a lot of change in the lineup and just who is available. Also, this is a team that has struggled with taking care of the basketball, right? If you look at the Phoenix Mercury, especially in some of their recent games, especially in some of their recent losses, one of the big things that has stood out is their inability to consistently take care of the basketball, right? They have struggled heavily on that. And so, yes, is the Phoenix Mercury one of the best teams in the W? Yes. Are they going to make the playoffs? Yes. But are they going to make as much noise as possible, i.e. making it to the WNBA finals? It depends on them. It really does depend, because we all know Sammy Whitcomb's a bucket. We all know that Alyssa Thomas is like a triple-double queen. We all know that Monica Koa-Makani is a very, very special rookie. We all know about Kalia Copper and her ability to get to the rim. We know about Satu Sabali and her ability to just do a little bit of everything on the basketball court. However, the problem with the Phoenix Mercury is just getting a cohesive game plan, right? So, should you bring back Kat Westbell in the starting lineup? That's one of those things. Should you bring back Kat Westbell, or should you keep Natasha Mack as your center, right? Should DeWanna Bonner continue to come off the bench, or should she start? There's so many questions for this Phoenix Mercury team, and I don't think they still have figured out specifically all the roles for these players, because they have a lot of talent on this team, but at the same time, they've barely played together. And I'm just a little bit like, what is the future of this team? If they can get their roles fully honed in, the sky's the limit for the Phoenix Mercury. The problem is, will they have enough time to do that? That's the question. That's the question for this team. All right. So, I am personally buying the Phoenix Mercury. Of course, they're making the playoffs, but their chances to make it far in the playoffs is a little bit wishy-washy for me. If all things work out, absolutely. But at the same time, I don't know. Question marks. Okay. So, looks like 62% of y'all are saying you are buying the Phoenix Mercury. 38% says that you are selling the Phoenix Mercury. Okay. Interesting. Carmela says Westbell should start and DeWanna Bonner off the bench. Well, yeah, so DeWanna Bonner's been off the bench, but like Kat Westbell, she was starting, but then Natasha Mack has replaced Kat Westbell. And so like the question that I kind of have is like, okay, well, does Natasha Mack stay in that starting spot, or does Kat Westbell? Because we've seen the Phoenix Mercury have some really good success with Kat Westbell, but also, Natasha Mack, is not in terms of scoring, but like in terms of everything else, she's doing her thing as well. And so like it's a question mark of like, who do you go with? Because you kind of have to make your decision and keep it, because you need that continuity as we go into the playoffs. Right? Okay. Nitro Dust, thank you so much for the super chat, says Minnesota should trade for Angel, most improved. I mean, if I guarantee you, if the Minnesota Lynx could take it back, I guarantee you they would take that previous trade back, and they would have Angel Reese right now. But should the Chicago Sky agree to trade Angel for anything? I say no. I say no. Okay? Okay, guys. Molly says keep Mac. Okay, keep Mac in the starting lineup. Okay. Marge is saying 124 voting, but not that many people hit the like button. Hit it. Yeah, so hit that like button. It really would help the channel out a whole lot. Again, let me know what y'all think about this segment we are doing called Buying and Selling, guys. All right. Okay, we're going to move on. So, all right. Next up, let's talk about the Seattle Storm. Seattle Storm. Are you buying or are you selling the Seattle Storm? Now, Seattle, they're rocking and rolling right now. They are tied for fourth place in the WNBA right now. They have a record of 16 wins, 11 losses. They've been a little bit on the upswing of sorts. Here's the thing about Seattle that's the problem. Seattle is not consistent. Seattle can be fantastic and beat some of the top teams in the WNBA, and then they'll lose games that they have no business losing. With Seattle, I'm just sort of like, because we don't know really consistently what version of Seattle we will get. We don't know. Yes, this team has Skylar Diggins, one of the best one of the best guards in the game right now. Skylar Diggins is on her big one all season. She has been. She's fantastic. We all know that. However, the problem for this Seattle Storm team is how consistent this team is. Yes, Skylar can score all the points she wants, right? She can pass the ball up a storm. She can do all the stuff and whatnot. But is the rest of her teammates consistent? Now, Skylar is pretty consistent, right? 16 points a game. She's doing her thing, right? Nneka Ogwumike is another player who is also extremely consistent for this team, right? This is someone who's giving you 17 points a game, leading the team in rebounds. She's doing her big one, right? And also being the president of the Players Association. She's doing everything. Like, it's wild how she is able to do all that stuff in a day. Anyway, once we get past that, it gets a little bit on the offensive end less consistent. Now we know Gabby Williams is a defensive savant. She is fan-freaking-tastic on the defensive end. We all know that. But when it comes to offense, not as consistent. Right? Ezzie Magmagor is another player who is like has so much. She has so much potential in the WNBA. However, not consistent on the offensive end. Though we do know if you have the basketball in the paint, Ezzie Magmagor is probably going to block your shot. We all know that she can do that. But offensively, not consistent. Erica Wheeler has been, very, very good. In my opinion, definitely is one of the most improved players year over year. She has been doing her thing, and this is someone who I've been very happy with in terms of the way that she's produced on the court. And as someone who is coming up there, is starting to inch into not only more minutes, but also more of an impact in the game, is Dominique Malunga. And as we get closer to this playoff runway for the Seattle Storm, Noelle Quinn has to make a decision about Dominique Malunga, right? I think we're getting to the point where you have to ask yourself, not only should I be giving more minutes to Dominique Malunga, at what point do you seriously consider possibly Dominique Malunga starting at some point? Because yes, Ezzy is your longtime starter. Ezzy is fantastic. However, it does seem like Dominique Malunga is pacing really well in her growth over this year. And especially lately in her last couple of games, I just wonder, at some point, do you bring Ezzy off the bench and do you start Dominique Malunga? Because Dominique Malunga is making her ascendance. So like, I'm a little bit iffy about this Seattle Storm team because consistency is an issue, and also I actually really do think they should seriously consider changing out their lineup. No, like that has, this is not me talking bad about Ezzy. It's just, to me, it does seem like Dom is at the point where she's kind of ready to take that on. And I think the production would be better. Matthew says, no, I'm not saying AZ, not AZ Fudd, Ezzy Magmagor. Ezzy Magmagor. All right. And so with Seattle, again, I'm a little bit, because I don't quite know what we're going to see from them in the future, right? So it's an iffy team, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Anthony says you start both. You can't start both. You can't. Because Nneka Ogwumike is a starter. Like, no way would you be pushing out Nneka Ogwumike to start both Ezzy and Dom. And to be honest with you, both of them in the lineup at the same time, I actually don't think would be that effective as a starting unit. All right. So, yeah, that's my thoughts there. All right. And you all are also a little bit sort of wishy-washy about the Seattle Storm right now. Looks like the awesome people of the internet are 52% buying the Seattle Storm and 47% selling. Okay. So we're a little bit up in the air about the Seattle Storm, which again, it makes sense. This team is a good team. They're not consistent. That's the issue. It's not the top players that are not consistent. It's everybody else, I would say. Right? It's not Skylar. It's not Nneka. It's everybody else on what they can do on the offensive end. Okay? All right. Let's move on, guys. Let's continue to rock out on this this segment that we are calling Buying and Selling. Sue Ellen says, I love what Erica Wheeler is doing this year. And the team is fun to watch generally, but I am selling. Okay. All right. So next up, let's talk about the Atlanta Dream, guys. Let's talk about the Atlanta Dream. Are you buying or are you selling the Atlanta Dream? The Atlanta Dream are tied up with Seattle in terms of record. This is a team that also has been a little bit wishy-washy as of late. One of the reasons why is because they're literally missing one of their stars in Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard has been out for this team. She is hurt, which is a huge, huge bummer for this team. However, when you look at the last couple of games, we have seen some pretty good wins, right? We all remember Nas Hillman when she hit the game winner against the Dallas Wings, right? We saw like the super close loss against the Golden State Valkyries. We all saw that the Atlanta Dream beat not only the Minnesota Lynx, they also recently beat the Phoenix Mercury as well. Guys, I'm going in on the Atlanta Dream. I am buying the Atlanta Dream. Yes, Ryan Howard is out right now. She is out. However, this Atlanta Dream team is playing very, very well without her. And once she comes back, they will get better. I have more confidence, I would say, in this Atlanta Dream team. I would even say over Seattle to end up making the playoffs and not only making the playoffs, but also kind of make some noise in the playoffs. And the reason why is their sort of commitment to that 3-point shot. Right. And early on, I had a lot of critiques about the Atlanta Dream and the fact that they just kept shooting threes. And I was getting frustrated with it, but it has worked in their favor quite a bit as of late. And again, this is a team that has a little bit of everybody, right? First of all, Jordan Canada, who is a really good point guard in the WNBA, right? You have Alicia Gray, who at one point was a big time consideration for MVP. She's still, kind of in the conversation. But Alicia Gray is having a phenomenal year, right? We also have the likes of Ryan Howard, but I'm not going to talk about Ryan Howard much because she's again out right now. We also have the likes of Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner down low. Now, in terms of Brittany Griner, it's okay. In terms of Brianna Jones, she did start off the season really, really well. She has cooled off as of late. But you do have those two that are in the post and could make some noise as needed. Now, for the Atlanta Dream, if those two get more consistent, or if Brianna Jones just gets back to where she was initially to start the season, then, I think that'd be kind of cool. Also, when it comes to the bench, the Atlanta Dream have one of the better benches in the WNBA because their bench actually brings something to the table. I'm talking about Naz Hillman, who has been rocking and rolling this season. Yes, Naz Hillman only averages around 8 points a game, but if you look at the last couple of games, Naz Hillman has been doing her thing, specifically the game against Dallas. Not only did she score 21 points, but she knocked down 5 threes, including the game-winning 3-point shot, right? She's doing her thing. Not only that, you have Tahina Paopao, who is one of those players that sometimes she gets a lot of minutes, sometimes she does not, sometimes she starts, sometimes she does not. But Tahina Paopao is bringing a lot of effort every single game and is giving you some really good things off the bench, right? You also have Maya Caldwell, who is another player who is bringing impact and making stuff happen. Nia Coffey, here's the deal, guys. With the Atlanta Dream, the reason why I am buying for them is, yes, does Brianna Jones and Brittany Griner need to do more in the second half of the season? Yes. But the advantage that the Atlanta Dream has over other teams in the WNBA is that they have an actual bench. That's the difference. So if your starters are not showing up, they're not doing their thing, Carl Semesco can just go to the bench and bring somebody else in. Right? That's the difference. And yes, pound for pound, is the Atlanta Dream starting lineup as good as other teams in the WNBA? No. But their bench is really good, right? And so if you look at the whole roster, they're a really good team. They're a really good team. And so I think that's why I am buying the Atlanta Dream not just because of the starters, but because of a bench that you can actually count on. And that's not always a thing in the WNBA. All right? Okay. All right, let's end this poll. We have 67% of y'all that are buying the Atlanta Dream. 33% are selling. Okay. Thank y'all so much for continuing to participate in this thing. All right. Well, it's about to get a little bit interesting in these streets. Okay. Okay. Well, it's about to get interesting. Okay. All right. Let's get to the next one. Let's get to the next one. Let me pull it up. Uh-oh. All right. So we talked about, we're going in order of the standings right now. We're going in order. And I got a question for you. The Indiana Fever, are you buying or are you selling? What are you doing with the Indiana Fever? Now, let me talk about my thoughts about the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever, yes, they won the Commissioner's Cup. Yes, they have had a lot of things happen this year, right? Waiving a player, bringing in players on a 7-day contract, ended up signing one in Aaron McDonald. Looks like they will re-sign Chloe Bibby to another 7-day contract. Lots of just things going on with the Indiana Fever. They still have Caitlin, who is still out. We'll see whenever she comes back. And all the while, this team has been very, very good as of late. Okay? They stand at 15-12 on the season. They have won 6 of their last 10 games. And guys, I gotta say, the Indiana Fever are looking pretty good, right? Let's look at the last teams that they beat, right? They just beat the Phoenix Mercury, right? They just beat the Chicago Sky, which, again, doesn't mean much. And they beat the Las Vegas Aces, which means something. I am buying this version of the Indiana Fever. The reason why is because look at the options that this team has. Yes, Kelsey Mitchell has been balling as of late. Though, in the last game against Phoenix, Kelsey Mitchell was in foul trouble. Kelsey Mitchell was not a huge factor. And who stepped up? Aaron McDonald. The thing that makes me buy this Indiana Fever team is that they have a lot of talent, even if the talent doesn't consistently show up, right? Kelsey Mitchell, very, very consistent. She's doing her thing. Absolutely. Right? You need a bucket, give the ball to Kelsey. And also, all the people who keep saying, oh, she don't pass, she do pass. She can pass the ball, and she is getting her teammates involved, right? We got Kelsey Mitchell doing her thing. We also have Aaliyah Boston, who has not been as great since Caitlin's been out. However, still is making an impact. We got Natasha Howard, who sometimes is really on, sometimes is really off, which is a thing. But hey, they got that. Then you have the newest additions that are just, I think, doing a big one, right? In both Aaron McDonald and for Chloe Bibby. And then you got Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hole, 2 players who can knock down big time shots and can make stuff happen. But this Indiana Fever team will go as far as Kelsey Mitchell takes them. And because of the greatness that is Kelsey Mitchell, guys, I'm buying this team. Now, yes, did Kelsey Mitchell struggle against Phoenix? She absolutely did. Completely, she did. But when it comes to the future of this Indiana Fever team, they will make the playoffs as long as Kelsey Mitchell balls out of control. And I think she will. So because of that, I am buying. I'm buying. Now who knows about Caitlin? Don't know. Lots of reports saying lots of different things. We don't know. My assumption is that we won't see her until the closer to the start of the playoffs. That's my assumption, but we'll see. I do think that looking at the schedule going forward for the Indiana Fever, I do think they do make the playoffs, right? Because this team has a simple path to the playoffs, right? You're playing Dallas. You see some upcoming games. You got Dallas, you got LA, you got Chicago, you got the Mystics, you got the Sun. Like, you have some very, very winnable games, but then you also have games that you're probably going to lose, and like the rematch against Phoenix, right? Playing Minnesota back-to-back. So like you're going to lose some games, but in general, I think they're going to get closer to 50-ish% in their last games of the season, and I think that'll be enough to just get them in the playoffs. Now, do I have this Indiana Fever team making it far in the playoffs? No, I don't. I don't. I have this team going out in the first round. But will they make the playoffs? Yes, I think so. All right, what do y'all got for buying and selling? All right. Looks like 68% of y'all are buying and 31% of y'all are selling. Okay. All right. Very, very good to know. Okay, now it's time to get a little bit controversial. Okay. So let's get to the end of the line for playoffs. Okay. Let's go to the end of the line. And when it comes to the end of the line, we have to talk about and some of y'all may disagree with me on this, and I'm willing to have that debate. Okay. So, let's go to the Las Vegas Aces, guys. Let's go to the Aces. And, guys, the Aces overall this year they've been a disappointment. They just have. They have, right? They're 14-13 on the season. Yes, they have won 6 of the last 10 games, so that's something. That's good. But, guys, when it comes to buying or selling the Las Vegas Aces, I know this team has the best, one of the best players in the world. I would say the best player in the world, right? This team has won 2 WNBA championships recently, right? They got one of the best coaches in the world in the women's basketball space. However, I'm selling the Las Vegas Aces. I'm selling. And the fact that I am saying that I am selling is wild. Because again, look at who the Aces have on their roster. Literally got the best player on the planet in A'ja Wilson, who is carrying this team in just about every single metric, guys. She's leading this team in points, in rebounds, in steals, in blocks. Not that far off from leading this team in assists. She's doing everything for this team. Right? Not just her. Jackie Young is also rocking and rolling. 17 points per game. She's doing her thing as well, right? 4.5 assists per game. So we have both A'ja and Jackie who are doing their thing. And then we got everybody else. On paper, should we be buying this team? Absolutely. Absolutely. On paper, we should be buying the Las Vegas Aces. But with the product that they're putting on the court, I just don't think I'm not buying it. I'm not. We got Chelsea Gray, who is nowhere near playing like the Chelsea Gray we know who she is, right? We got Jewel Lloyd, who is just struggling, still struggle bus. Yeah, they moved her to the bench, which is a good decision. But still, I'm not buying that. You bring in Alyssa Smith, which is, yes, a better offensive player than Kia Stokes, but still not the biggest of difference. So yes, I am selling this team because this team has two players. This team has A'ja Wilson and this team has Jackie Young. So I'm selling. And it's weird to say I'm selling a team that has A'ja freaking Wilson on it. However, it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. I mean, on paper, coming into this season, I thought this Aces team was going to be a whole lot better. I was hoodwinked. I was bamboozled. I was led astray about the prospects of this Las Vegas Aces team. They're just not good. They're not. They got A'ja. They got Jackie. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. And you got Becky Hammond that's just scowling on the sideline because she's just like, what in the world is this mess? Now this Aces team got it. They have to do a complete overhaul. Complete overhaul. Complete overhaul. Okay? Chloe says A'ja needs more consistent players. She does. She does. She absolutely does. Carmela said not led astray. Oh, man. Sister Fate, thank you so much for the super chat, says, Clutch, Rich Paul got a hold of the Aces and priced them out of getting new players and being competitive. I don't think so. I mean, they had money. It's just what they decided to spend it on was interesting. And also, they don't have a GM. They don't have a GM. There are consequences to not having an actual general manager in the position. That's the issue for the Aces. The issue for the Aces is they don't have someone who is just focused on personnel and getting things happening. So first thing Aces need to do at the end of the season, hire a GM. Please, hire a GM. Because it's like, dog, stop it. You guys are better than this. You guys, it's no way. It is no way. You got A'ja Wilson, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, Jewel Lloyd, and people are debating on if you even make the playoffs. That's wild. Wild. But that's where we are. That is where we are. That's where we are. That is where we are. Okay. So let's end this poll right here. Told you I was going to get a little controversial. But hey, I watch the games. I see what I see. And I'm going to tell y'all what I see. And I'm selling to Las Vegas Aces right now. I am. All right. Looks like y'all are selling as well. 57% of you all are saying you are selling the Las Vegas Aces. 42% says that you are buying. Okay. Where if we're selling the Aces, what are we doing with the Golden State Valkyries? What are we doing with the Valkyries? Let me get the poll up. And then we'll get into to what you all want to do, okay? All right, let's talk about the Golden State Valkyries. Right now, they are in that last spot, that 8th spot for the playoffs. If the playoffs ended right now, the Golden State Valkyries would be in the playoffs. They have a record of 13 wins, 13 losses. This team was rocking and rolling to start the season. They surprised everybody with the way that they started the season. However, injury has hurt this team. Kayla Thornton, the best player on this Golden State Valkyries team, is out for the remainder of the season, and The Golden State Valkyries have lost 6 of their last 10 games. Guys, when it comes to the Golden State Valkyries, if you would have asked me when Kayla Thornton was healthy, I would have said I'm 100% buying this team. With Kayla Thornton out, the person who led this team in points, rebounds, and steals, guys, I got to sell now. I got to sell. If Kayla Thornton was healthy, I was totally buying. Totally buying. With Kayla Thornton out, I'm selling. I'm selling. And the reason why I'm selling is because the Golden State Valkyries are still a really good team, right? They still have Tiff Hayes. They still have Veronica Burton. They still got Janelle Salon, Cecilia Zanna-Lassini, Ilyana Rupert. They still have good players. I'm not saying they don't, right? You still got Kate Martin, Timmy Fagbenle. You go down the list. They still have really good players. However, I don't think they can pull out the rest of the season with the schedule that they have, considering the personnel that they have. Now, yes, will the Valkyries still win some big games? Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's going to be a bit of a struggle, right? This team has, the schedule that this team has coming up, they might win close to 50% of those games. But I don't think they're going to do better than that. And I don't think 50% is enough that's going to allow them to make the playoffs. So I am selling this team. I am selling. Because the loss of Kayla Thornton, when it comes down to it, is going to be too great of a loss for the Valkyries to handle. Right? Now, yes, Bishop says that they just punched the Dream, the Mystics, in the mouth on the road without KT. They did. However, I could be wrong on this. I could be wrong. And I'll eat my words. I will eat my words if I am wrong. But I just don't see them pulling it out. Yes, they did beat Atlanta. Yes, they did beat Washington. They absolutely did. However, because I really could go either way about buying or selling. But I'm going to lean towards the selling part because I have 2 other teams that are not in the playoffs right now that I actually think has a good shot of making the playoffs. And so, yeah, that's my thoughts there. That's my thoughts there. Sister Faith, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, bring Diggins to the Lynx. Fee and Skylar are a whole vibe. Yeah, that would be really fun. But definitely not via a trade. But like free agency, hey, why not? Why not? Right? Most of the league is a free agent come next year. So like, why not? Sister Faith, thanks so much again for the super chat. Says, oh wait, no, you already read that one about Rich Paul getting a hold of the Aces and pricing them out. Okay. Thank you so much, Polo, for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. Salute to you, Polo. One of the most consistent names I see in the chat. I love to see it. I love to see it. Okay, guys, we are continuing on the list, guys. We're continuing down on the list. Ooh, guys, I don't have that much time. Okay, we got to blaze through this rest of the stuff. Okay, for the Valks, we have 61% of you all buying the Valks. Okay, all right, so the awesome people of the internet have spoken. I say sell, however, you all say buy, so we are buying the Golden State Valkyries. Okay, we're buying as a collective, as a group. We are buying the Golden State Valkyries. 61% of us said that, and 38% said sell. Okay, thank y'all so much for rocking with me on this channel as we continue on, guys. We just got a couple of teams left to go, and I want to talk about one of my favorite teams of this season, and that is the Washington Mystics. All right. Okay, so what are you all doing? Are you buying or are you selling the Washington Mystics? Guys, here's the deal. Let's talk about where the Washington Mystics are right now. They are out of the playoffs looking in. They were in the playoffs as of yesterday morning, but they lost the Valks, and so now they're out of the playoffs. They have a record of 13 wins and 14 losses. And guys, I gotta say, yes, this team has lost 5 of their last 10 games, but I am buying the Washington Mystics. Why? Because this team has a boatload of potential, and I see a pathway of them making the playoffs. Now, when we look at this Washington Mystics team, who are we looking at? Well, we're looking at Brittany Sykes, who is leading this team in a bunch of stats, right? She's leading the team in points. She's leading in assists. She's leading in steals. Like, she is doing her thing. Absolutely. All right. We also have the 2 rooks in terms of Sonia Citron and Kiki Ira-Afen. We got Shakira Austin that is healthy and doing her thing. And we just kind of go down the line from there about players for this Washington Mystics team. Now, you all may say, what? Why are you buying this Washington Mystics team? This is a team that is inconsistent. And to that, I say, yes, I agree. They are inconsistent. They are 100%. You may say, this is a team that that does not know how to close out games. And to that, I also say, yeah. Yeah. I think they have shown that this year. And if you're just like, why in the world would you then say that this Mystics team will make the playoffs? The reason why I say that is because I think they have an easier path with the schedule they have left. Okay, let's look through who they have left to play. Let's look through who they have left to play and how I think those games could go, right? When it comes to the Golden State Valkyries versus the Washington Mystics, I think the Washington Mystics have an easier schedule to finish off the season, right? Sure, you play tough teams like Minnesota, but you only play Minnesota once. Then you got to play New York, I believe, twice. Then you got to play the Indiana Fever. You got to play the Phoenix Mercury. Okay, sure. Those are tough games that you're probably going to lose. But then you also have games against the Chicago Sky, right? The Golden State Valkyries, which I think you're finally going to win. I mean, better late than never. I think you're finally going to win that one when you play them again. You play the Connecticut Sun twice. You play you play the LA Sparks, I think, twice. Like, what I'm trying to say is I do see a pathway for them to make the playoffs more than the Golden State Valkyries. Now, could I be wrong? I could be wrong. I absolutely could be. This team does not know how to close out games, and they are not consistent. However, with the talent that this team has, specifically with Sonia Citron's ability to just take over, I have them making it. I do. Because to me, a huge core for this team is Brittany Sykes, Sonia Citron, Shakira Austin, and Kiki Iri-Afen. If we see Shakira Austin stay healthy and continue to make continue to be an impact player, I do think that they're going to make it. I do. And yeah, I could be wrong, but we'll see. But yeah, I think for those who are saying they're not consistent and they can't close out, you're completely right. You're completely right. I just think that in terms of finishing out the season and the games they have left, I do think they're going to win more than lose. And yeah, that's what I got. All right. What do y'all have? Okay, it looks like the majority of y'all are buying. Okay, so as a collective, we are buying the Washington Mystics. 62% is buying. 37% is selling. Okay, we got that all squared away. All right, now, next up, let's move on to another team that maybe some of y'all will be shocked about. I don't know. All right. All right. So are you buying or are you selling the LA Sparks? Now, guys, I gotta say, I think I'm buying the LA Sparks. I think I'm buying the LA Sparks. Now, the LA Sparks, Okay. I think I'm buying the LA Sparks. So here's the thing with the LA Sparks. This is a team that confuses me a little bit. The reason why is because, yes, overall, does the LA Sparks have some ballers? They do, right? When you look at this team, they got a lot of ballers. But on the season, they sit at 11 wins, 15 losses. They are on the upswing. They didn't win 6 of their last 10 games, including beating the New York Liberty, right? And beating the Washington Mystics twice. This is a team that now has Cameron Brink back, which is a big thing, right? They're seeing some health, right? They're getting healthy, which is great. You had Ray Burrell, who was out for a significant part of the season. She's back. She's back making an impact on this team. You're led by Kelsey Plum, someone who has shown that not only can she shoot, but she can pass. She can do a little bit of everything. You got De'Erica Hamby, who is continuing to just stay fantastic. You have Azurá Stevens, who's having a fantastic season, right? You got Rickea Jackson, who is showing up and showing out night in and night out, sometimes putting the team on her back and making it happen, right? You got Ray Burrell, right? You got Julie Allemand. The thing about this team is they have the pieces. They do, to make the playoffs. So, guys, I'm buying the LA Sparks. I am. Right? If we look at the rest of their season, do they have an uphill battle to climb? Yes. They're playing Seattle, I think 3 times to close out this season, right? They're playing the New York Liberty, right? They got the Phoenix Mercury. They have some tough games ahead of them. However, I think this team is starting to really get in the swing of things. They're really starting to understand the offense that Lynn Roberts wants to run, and they're making it happen. Do I think it's going to be an uphill battle for them to ultimately make the playoffs? Yes. Do I think it's possible and it's a likelihood that they make the playoffs? Also, yes. But the problem for these LA Sparks, the reason why I could see them not making the playoffs is their defense. Their defense, guys, is trash. It is. They have one of the worst defenses in the WNBA. Trash. Now, yes. The LA Sparks can score, right? You got scorers, right? Again, De'Erica, Kelsey, Rickea, Azurá. You have scorers. The problem is you don't have defense. And if the LA Sparks just are able to kick up their defense a little bit more, I see them. They're making the playoffs. And with the addition of Cameron Brink coming back now, is Cameron Brink fully back? Yeah, no, she's not. Right? Yeah, she did play in the last game, but she's not fully back. But having a player like a Cameron Brink is really good to note. Is really good because defensively, we all know what Cameron Brink can do, at least from the few games she played during the WNBA season last year before she got hurt. Like, we know what she can do. And so if the Sparks can get just a little bit better on defense, yeah, I'm buying. And I think they will. This is, when it comes to the WNBA and the playoffs, it's all about timing, right? You all remember when the Chicago Sky won the WNBA championship? Weren't they basically like 50% on the season? And they won a WNBA championship because it's about peaking at the right time. Now, am I saying that LA Sparks are winning the championship? No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is it is possible for a team that's not looking that great to eke into the playoffs and make some serious noise. It's absolutely possible. And I am buying the LA Sparks. Now, what are y'all doing? Looks like the awesome people of the internet are selling. Okay, so as a collective, guys, even though I'm personally would buy, as a collective, we are selling the LA Sparks. Okay, we are selling the LA Sparks. 55% are selling, 44% are buying. Okay. All right, guys, we got a couple more to go. Ooh, and I got to kick it into gear because I have to go myself. Okay. Okay, guys. Let's move on to the wings. All right. Let's go to the wings. Are you buying or are you selling the Dallas Wings? Now, the Dallas Wings, they're still in the struggle bus, right? 8-20 on the season, 8 wins, 20 losses. They lost 7 of their last 10 games. This is a team that also struggles with defense. And it's starting to somewhat, I see the possibilities percolating with the Dallas Wings, but ultimately, guys, I'm selling. I'm selling. The Dallas Wings are meant to not make the playoffs so they could be another lottery pick. I think ultimately that's what it is. I'm selling. Now, yes, are we seeing a great year for Paige and JJ Quinterly and Isaiah James and all that stuff? Sure. But Doc, we sell the whole lot. Next year is going to be Dallas's year. I'm saying that. I'm saying that now. Next year is going to be their year that they make the playoffs. Okay. All right. We're not going to run this survey for very long. Okay. We're going to end a poll here. 85% of y'all are saying selling. Yes, completely agree. 15% are saying buying. Okay. So let's breeze through the rest of these. The Chicago Sky. I mean, dog, what we talking about? Okay. Are you buying or are you selling the Chicago Sky? Well, it's easy. Selling. This team has only won 7 games this season. 7 wins, 19 losses. They're not good. And now with so many injuries on this team, right? So many injuries. You got Angel who is back out again. She has a back injury. And for those who are like, oh, that's not real and blah, 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 blah. Back injuries are very sensitive, guys. It's a very sensitive thing. Like, and you can be really good with your back one day and the next day you are messed up. Ariel Atkins and Haley Van Lith, and like the injury report is lengthy for the Chicago Sky. Full sale. All chips are in. We're bowing out. We're done. Yeah, the Chicago Sky are not making the playoffs. That's not even a question. Not even a question. But because I did it for the obvious ones early on, I got to do it for the obvious ones down here as well. So of course, we are selling the Chicago Sky. 94% of y'all agree to sell the Chicago Sky. We got 5% that are hopeful. Okay. So we got some hopeful people. Oh, I'm hopeful. Yes, I am hopeful for today. Anybody know that song? Take this music and use it. Let it take you away. And be hopeful. Anyway. Okay. Y'all are funny. LL Cool says the sky's a cheerleader. Come on now. Let's see. Road 2 says, I can attest back injury and shoulder injury. Yeah. Them things are, that's legit. That is legit. Carmela says, girl, I'm selling and I'm giving a discount. Dang. Come on, Carmela. You didn't have to do this guy like that. Come on now. Carmela, you didn't have to do this guy like that. I'm just saying. Oh man. Here's the thing. I see a lot of hope for the Chicago Sky. Yes, this year is bad. I have hope for this team. I do. I have hope for this team. I have hope in the future, not this year. Okay. All right. And then we have, finally, the worst team in the W. The team that has only won 4 games all season, the Connecticut Sun. I got to ask you, even though it's obvious, are you buying or are you selling? Are you buying or are you selling the Connecticut Sun? Are you buying or are you selling? Let me know. I mean, I'm selling. It's a full sell. It's over. 4 wins on the season, 21 losses. This team, they're just bad. They're just bad. They just are. Right? Right? They're just bad. So yeah, that's it. Yeah. I do see this team, like, in terms of individually getting better. Oh, breaking news, guys. Okay, anyway. Connecticut is terrible. We're selling. Everybody's selling. But I do have some breaking news that just happened. Thank you so much to Stern for the super chat. Says off topic, but Chloe Bibby signed for the rest of the year. Yes, as of 12 minutes ago, it is official. The Indiana Fever has signed Chloe Bibby to a rest of the season contract, guys. All right. They have signed her to a rest of the season contract. Literally, this just came out. This is breaking news. Thank you so much, Stern, for letting us know that. Because sometimes, when I'm doing these streams, I'm not on the Twitters. Like, I don't know what's going on as things are happening. I know what happened before the stream, and before the stream, we were wondering about if Chloe Bibby was going to get signed to another 7-day contract. Turns out that she is in it to win it with the Indiana Fever. She has signed a rest of the season contract. And guys, let's pull up the press release and let's talk through it real quick. All right, here we go. Here is the press release as of 10 a.m. Eastern time. It says Indiana Fever sign forward Chloe Bibby to a rest of the season contract. All right. So it says the Indiana Fever have signed Australian forward Chloe Bibby to a rest of the season contract. Bibby has played in 2 games for the Fever since joining via a 7-day contract on July 25th. In her 2 games with the Fever, Bibby has averaged 9 points per game, shooting 44% from the field and 50% beyond the arc. Side note, guys, that's why they signed her, is her ability to shoot the 3 as a post player. Anyway, it says on Wednesday, Bibby helped Indiana earn a 107-101 win over the Phoenix Mercury, scoring 10 points in 13 minutes, including 2 3-pointers in her Fever debut. The game prior, Bibby scored 8 points in 11 minutes, played as part of a 93-78 win over Chicago. The Indiana Fever began a 4-game road stint on August the 1st against the Dallas Wings at American Airlines Center, before heading west to face the Seattle Storm on August 3rd at Climate Pledge Arena, which with tip-off set for 3 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Anyway, the news is official. It is officially official. Chloe Bibby has signed for the rest of the season with the Indiana Fever. This makes so much sense. This is easy peasy lemon squeezy. Of course, this made a whole bunch of sense to do. And yeah, makes sense. You gotta get Chloe Bibby wrapped up because she has been a huge piece for your team. She's been huge. Okay, guys, we have severely gone over. Okay. Anyway, that's the stream. Thank you so much, Cliff, for the super chat. Says dope game, Quita. Thank you. I was hoping that y'all would like it as a Friday sort of engagement type of thing. Like, I don't want to just always talk at y'all. I want to talk with y'all. I want to hear what y'all got to say. I want things to be as interactive as possible. And I know that like it can't be like even more interactive because again, we are on YouTube. And so like, that's a thing. But yeah, so hopefully y'all like the game that we just played. If y'all did, please let me know in the comments. And let me know if y'all want to see more of this type of stuff on Fridays, because Fridays should be more fun, right? You agree? Should be more fun, right? Anyway. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, please hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. Also, guys, subscribe to the channel. I make content all about women's basketball, so if that is your thing, make sure to rock out with me here. This is Quita in the morning. And guys, I want to tell y'all, happy morning. Hope y'all are feeling great. Guys, I started the stream not feeling that good, but as the stream went on, as we was chatting, as we was conversating, guys, I got a little bit more energy in me, which is great because I have a full day ahead of me. I am going to the Chicago Sky game tonight, so hopefully I will see y'all here. And again, thank y'all for rocking with me. See y'all in the next one, guys. Be kind to someone. Tell somebody that they matter because they truly, truly, truly do. And if no one has told you, let me tell you guys. And like, I don't want you to miss this. Like, truly, you matter. You are important. And I'm very, very happy you are on this earth. Go and be great today. Be productive at school, at work, at whatever, cleaning the house, whatever you're doing today, do it to the best of your ability. And as always, rock out with women's basketball, guys. I'll see y'all in the next one. And let me find my exit and we can get on out here. All right, guys. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
Ready, set.